So today what we are going to do after Prajapati, we are taking Brahma. It's a very important aspect, especially from the Eastern um, philosophy. Not much in Western philosophy except for Roman, little bit of Roman and Greek, but it is majorly important as far as Eastern philosophy goes. So let's get into Eastern philosophy. So it is from a root word brh, means to expand. So the question then comes, is that is the world expanding? Samvatta, Vivatta, we already covered it. So we are talking about Vivatta, this expansion. Okay, and if you see, your mind also expands, it also contracts. Let's say somebody is asked to give something, he's not interested. If forcing him to give, it contracts. You can see that. And if somebody is interested and he would like to give, then it expands. So Brahma is a state when this expansion, etymologically, meaning root word is br, which means to expand. So then the question comes, how does it expand? Who expands it? There should be someone who can expand it. So in Upanishad, that is Hiranyagarbha, the golden egg. So Brahma is representative of the golden egg. So he creates. So there is a creative force in each one of us. So we can create. Okay. So all the inventions, what we are doing today, done by anyone, is because of Bhr, to expand. So you can find things. And also, what we are trying to find in terms of liberation is also finding it, meaning to discover. That is because of Bhr, which means to expand. So by nature, the mind has an way to expand, and Brahma is the highest level of expansion. And if that is true, it becomes something which is established. So there should be something which is unestablished, and that is Brahman, which is formless. The objective is to go from the form to the formless. And even Buddha talks about form to formless. Now, Brahma with form means has four heads, each head representing north, south, east, west. So, what Buddha did is to modify that to represent Maitri, Karuna, Mudita, Upekha as four heads. Okay. It's a representative of how the mind is expanded. It doesn't mean that Brahma has four heads. It means that it's expanded in all the corners. So, four corners. Okay. So, that's how we need to see this. So, the question then comes, how does Brahma come to be? From where does this Brahma come to be? It's there in Taittiriya Upanishad where it talks about the Brahman as a source of everything. And I can go through the shloka, but I don't think so that would be of any use to you. Maybe some other time, if you are really interested, we can go through that Hiranyagarbha Sukta, which gives the entire depiction of how Brahma and Brahman means. But at present, let's not worry about the Sukta. So that's not the point of interest here. The point of interest here is that there is Brahma. Okay. And when there is Brahma, it has to expand. And when it expands, you know it is expanding. So then what happens here is that you will, that is, there is an perception of Brahma. Okay. Now, when there is perception of Brahma, there should be some role of Brahma. So in the Puranas, Brahma is representative of creation, and Vishnu is the representation of sustenance, and Shiva is the representation of dissolution. Okay, that's how this comes to be. So there would be a manyana. Manyana is in consideration. You accept that that is how it is, because through Brahma only you can invent something, you can create something. So in each one of us there is a creator force. Whether you are whichever religion you represent, whatever belief system you have, it doesn't matter. You will have something that can expand. So that should be something creative, because then only it can expand. So in the Rig Veda and the Upanishad, then the Puranas depict a lot about Brahma and Brahman. Okay. And hence Brahma is has a wife by name Saraswati who gives knowledge. Okay. Brahma is the source of everything and Saraswati is the knowledge base. And they go together. If the mind expands, it will expand with knowledge. There can't be any mind which is contracting and yet has knowledge. It's only when your mind expands, then you will have knowledge. Okay, that's again symbolic representation of Brahma and Saraswati. The most important thing as far as the Hindu or the Upanishadic way of life goes. So, what Buddha is saying is there is a sanjanati. That means you know it. And in the Sikh, there is also the Onkar, Iti Onkar. That's Brahman. I forgot to tell you, Om is representation of both Brahman and Brahma. If you keep on reciting Brahma, meaning Om, for 108 times, and into the whole day, for next 6 months, you will have psychic power. Whatever the psychic power you would like to have. If anybody is desirous, can do so. But you should have the complete surrender and fully moral. That means you better have to quit whatever you're doing, jobs or whatever, and then involve yourself with Om 6 months without a break. Except for going to the lavatory, at that time you're not going to recite Om. Other than that, all the time you should be on Om. So Guru Nanak found that Om as the best source to enlightenment. Okay. So instead of the Brahma as a person, in the Sikh tradition, it is the force behind it. They don't accept Brahma as a person. Instead, it is treated as a something which can expand the mind ability to know the unknown. So what Buddha says is that that is true, but the person gets attached with it. So he says, Brahmam Brahmato Sanjanati. Now, all that what I just now told you is perception. So now you will start perceiving. So if we were to go through the Hiranyagarbha Sukta for the next 2 weeks, you'll experience the exact essence of Brahman, which means there is a perception. Okay. If you want to try, you can try it out. We can do it for 2 weeks and you can see how your mind focuses its attention and then you get into the perception of the Brahma. And because of that, Brahman is pure consciousness. So the Brahma is then treated as eternal supreme being which governs the universe. Because you'll start to see like that. So there's a perception. So whatever we perceive, then we take it to be true. And hence it is a creator, sustainer, and overseer of cosmic order. That means the cosmos or the world is created due to Brahma. If the Brahma were to close his eyes, the world comes to an end. That's called pralaya. So when he opens, the world starts, and that is the vivatta happens. And if he closes his eyes, samvatta happens, which we already covered in the Brahmajala Sutta. We already done that. So Brahmajala Sutta explains in detail about this expansion and contraction, which is what the Brahma is going to do. Okay. Now, when that happens, the worldling then cannot understand Brahma is a state of existence. Once that existence is over, it can take any other form. So the worldling thinks that Brahma is an eternal being. And he goes one level further of searching for Brahman. And that is where it becomes complicated. You can't search for that which cannot be experienced. The Brahman is formless and Brahman is essenceless, meaning by its own, it doesn't do anything. So, whatever shunyata it is, we can call that as part of Brahman because it doesn't do anything. So, basically, if we go in search of Brahman, it is like adding something to it, which might complicate the things. So, most of the Upanishads try to explain Brahman. And what the Buddha did is to explain from the dukkha rather than the Brahman. Because that which cannot be explained, you try explaining it, is going to become very difficult. Okay. So the Brahman is something that can never be experienced through the six senses. Brahma can be experienced because it's a state of existence. So you can become Brahma. So when the person has a sanjanana, has the perception, then he will make it a Brahmam Manyati. He then considers a Brahma and make it all knowing, all powerful, and creator of the world and beyond. But funny part is that in India there are no Brahma temples. The nearest temple, if you want to visit, is in Bangkok, where they, in every nook and corner of Thailand, you will find Brahma statues. And they worship Brahma. I have never seen any other place so much worshipful of Brahma than Thailand. So when I was in Thailand, I was surprised to see so many Brahma and also a Brahma temple. In India, for whatever reason, Brahma doesn't have a temple. Or rather, there is one temple, is what my wife is saying. Yeah, okay. I stand corrected. There's one.
Pushkar we have.
Yeah, Pushkar. Other than that, you will not find anywhere else any Brahma temple. Even though he is such a important figure. Okay. So then Brahmam Manyati. So when you consider it, then it becomes Brahma knowing of everything and oversees the moral orders of the universe, and there's a punishment for not following it. So let's understand this in a greater detail. Let's say you have written an code for a robot, and the robot is supposed to do whatever you want it to do, yes or no. And instead of that, the robot starts doing what it wants to do. What would you do? You will just enter into that code and then delete it. That's what Brahma is supposed to be doing. Any question from anyone? I could give you a very simplest of the example. Assuming that you are a software developer and you're writing a code for making a robot and it's all doing good, but robot starts using its own brain and saying and not agreeing with what you are saying it to do, what would you do? If I were the developer, I will strip it, delete everything it has, and then make it like this. So all of us are controlled by Brahma for that matter.
Then what does Prajapati do, sir?
What is a Prajapati? Prajapati is a lower form of Brahma.
So, like the team lead and the manager,
What's that?
like the team lead and the manager.
Yeah, maybe. Team lead and a manager. Yes. Or a project manager and a team manager. So who has more power, the project manager than the team manager? Yes, sir, you.
Sorry, I don't quite understand because this Prajapati is all creators, manages everything anyways. I don't understand why is it lower.
Why it is lower? Because there are certain functions not available in the Prajapati. The all-knowing in the four corners is not there in Prajapati. Meaning, you can call it as four worlds or north, south, east, west, or whatever.
Okay, so Prajapati created it, but it does not have such a strong surveillance and control as Brahma. Yes.
Maybe. I have not asked him, but the day I find it out, I will let you know. At present, it is, I just sent a request. I'm waiting for the response. Okay. Yes, Ashwin.
In today's context, means what Pruthakjan or whatever the other religions are, as a me from the childhood, I always see Brahma as a topmost, and then Vishnu Mahesh is a seems like after looking at this, it's like a Prajapati. To in today's context, is it that way as a Pruthakjan? It's correct or no?
Now, there are various ways to see the thing between the Brahma. Brahma comes from the navel of Vishnu. So
That is also confusion. Yeah.
in that way, Vishnu is all powerful and Brahma is coming out of that. And Shiva doesn't seem to have any power. Unfortunately, Shiva was removed of his power some time ago because the manager who was taking care of him got angry. So he removed the power in one place, but he quit the company. Shiva quit the company and started his own firm or his own company, and then he became a CEO. So in some tradition, Shiva is the highest, and Vishnu and Brahma, they seek blessings of Shiva. And unfortunately for Brahma, he is he's a subordinate to both Vishnu and Shiva. He couldn't make his impact in the organization. So even though he was very clever, he was very what is that? Very passive, not active like Vishnu and Shiva. So,
Yeah.
Like Steve Jobs being kicked out of the company he
yeah,
created.
something like that. And then what happened is that he was moved to Pushkar, saying that why don't you manage yourself there? And while we manage the rest, yes, always in the background. So the investors who were investing in that organization felt that if they were to have Brahma, he wouldn't get any orders, meaning he wouldn't get any sales. So they moved him out and gave him a palace in Pushkar so that he can manage his things very well. And as far as Shiva and Vishnu goes, they have many, offshore locations, and they operate from there. So there's always a
Means, yeah.
confusion on who is the CEO. Is Vishnu the CEO, or the Shiva the CEO, or what is that? Brahma is the CEO, because all the three are the same. But then one is very active, that is Shiva. One is very clever, that is Vishnu. One is very passive, which is Brahma. So
Means,
I've applied for revaluation. That it's been long that they have not been given proper what is that, scoring system. So once I get to here, then I will let you know.
yeah, it's like the actually the Apple and this Google is a new company, but I'm working in the very old company, which is almost 100 years legacy or something,
Yeah,
where the owners of the company is always behind. They never comes, and the CEO use all the charter plan and all this, and he has multiple offices. So it may be that way.
yeah. Even today, if you ask Aryu, he will say that. I mean, Larry Page and Siguri, they don't come out. They only now the Sundar Pichai comes out, who's the CEO. So it would seem like it is a Sundar Pichai's company rather than these two guys who started the company in the first place. So they are Brahma, and our Sundar Pichai can be spoken like a Vishnu. He keeps on going here, there, making news. He comes to India and meets the prime minister and this and that, and so many papers write about him. But the founders of Google, nobody speaks about them. So they are Brahma.
At the time of coming to the subject, at the time of this Buddha, everything was there, correct? Means Brahma
Yeah.
was there, and then Brahman was also there. And still, people always get confusion on this. That
Yeah,
time
I'm going
also
to
in
now,
organ and
after this, I'm going to talk about Brahmana. So first, let's finish this. This itself is looking like a overwhelming exercise. So we'll first finish this and we'll bring another thing called a Brahmana and Brahmin. What's the difference between Brahmana and a Brahmin?
interesting.
Yeah, it's very interesting. So that's the reason India is a very interesting place. You should be fortunate to be born in India. If you migrate to some other country, you have lost the most important thing. Or if you are not at all born in India, the most,
But
yes.
we, as soon as you know, only then you it's worth to believe that it's you did a good job to born in India. Otherwise, you will not. You will regret.
Yeah.
Now, after reading this or I am having you, then only it's understandable. Otherwise, you cannot. You have to just believe the what is going on from the childhood.
Yes. So now, just like I gave those examples, so Brahma is always behind everything. In truth, any creativity requires Brahma for any being, not only humans, any being. So, what Buddha says is that when there is manyana, then it becomes Brahmasmim manyati. So, then you put it like entire life and everything, and Brahma is going to reward you and punish the wrongdoers and etc. will come into existence. And then the life events, the blessings in my life is coming from Brahma because the whole creativity is coming from Brahma. So I'm creative means that Brahma is actually blessing me, right? And Brahmato manyati. So the worldling then projects divine attributes onto Brahma, imagining Brahma's perspective or intention. So they then conceive the Brahma as a sentient being, all powerful ruler with desires, plans, or judgment, and influencing the thoughts. That's a basic thing about Brahma, to influence your thoughts. So the power of intuition, the power of thinking is because of Brahma, which seems true actually. In many cases, when you're stuck and you just give up, then the Brahma shines. You will get the information what you're looking for. And because of that, Brahma created the universe to fulfill a higher purpose. At present, I am ignorant to know the higher purpose of Brahma. I'm ignorant. That's what a worldling will think. But Brahma knows. And hence, there is a need for Brahman. Because Brahma is a being, whereas Brahman is the essence. Okay. So if you know Brahman, then you are done. Then there's nothing more to be known. All that what has to be known is known. There's nothing unknown about it. Okay. Then Brahman meiti manyati. So the worldling develops a personal relationship with Brahma and making him my protector, my guide, my source of blessings. It is all mine. And I need to be devoted to him. And then because of that, Brahma looks after my family. And all of my knowledge, which is Saraswati. So I need to praise us to Saraswati so that she gives me knowledge. And to she giving the knowledge, I need to be blessed by Brahma. Because only if my mind expands, then the knowledge can enter. So my objective now is to get good knowledge. Brahmam abhinandati. So now the uninstructed worldling delights in Brahma. So the worldling finds emotional comfort, joy, pride in the belief of Brahma. And hence they take up rituals to please the Brahma. Because they have a perceived relationship with Brahma. And they get worked up if they are told anything about Brahma. And in fact, if you were Anagami is a Brahma state of existence, for that all that matter. So it's worth it to be interested in Brahma. The ending of Rupa is almost a blend, is a state of Brahma existence. The Brahma realm for the Anagami. So how much I should be praying to the Brahma then? Because my mind is expanded. Any questions? Otherwise, this is done. This is very, then I can take Upanishad and all that. I don't think so. That would make any sense. Yes, Bobby. You're on mute.
Sorry. Yeah, sorry. So you are saying that Brahma, like when it closes, somewhat vivata, you are saying that it finishes and it starts again. So, but it is applicable for a particular Brahma, like because you're saying Anagami is a Brahma, so that means that they doesn't go like for the destruction, and in so many eons, I presume they live there. So this is only maybe according to this some particular realm of Brahma or the creator or Maha Brahma or something.
Yes. Hang on tight. We are going to go still more further onto the Brahma. So then we are coming to Abhasara Brahma. So it'll be fun.
Yeah.
We will
So also
provide
you are
you.
talking about
Yeah.
what is Brahma? Sorry, and Brahman. So what is the difference? I didn't quite get it. Brahma and Brahman.
Brahma is a state of existence, and Brahman is formless.
Formless. So Brahma, some identity is there, and Brahman is all formless. It is a
Yes.
yeah. Constant mind. Okay, thank you.
Sure. I think we had covered up on the locus some time ago. In that I had indicated. About the realms. Do you remember by any chance?
No, I remember that, so I was connecting with that. So what you're saying now, because there are different lamps. So you are talking about because it is a big uh, area of many beings. So I think it is difficult to explain that in each world how it began. But you're saying the particular their creator. So maybe you might be talking about some particular lamp
Yes.
for Brahma.
Yes.
You also told you'll be talking about Brahmin.
Yeah, I'm going to do that. But if we finish this,
Brahman.
then we can. Like, the first jhana will give you Brahma Parisajja, companions of Brahma, Brahma Purohita, ministries of Brahma, Maha Brahma, the great Brahma. So this is what you'll get it in the first jhana itself. First form itself will take you to Brahma realm. And then the second jhana would take you to the Paritabha. Is Paritta Abha means limited radiance. Appamana Abha means infinite radiance. Abhasara is the radiant beings, which we'll be covering up next after Brahma. That means we are starting on the second jhana. Then the third jhana will get us Paritta Subha, beings of limited glory, Appamana Subha, infinite glory, and Subhankhina, beings of radiant glory. Then we come into the fourth jhana, Vehapala and Asanyasatta. Then we have the Suddhavasa, Aviha, Atappa, Sudassa, Sudassi, Akandita. That is in Sanskrit Kanishta, Akanita. These are the 5 realms for the Anagamis. So they go beyond the first jhana, but still in the same Brahma realm, the 16 Brahma realms. So it's very important to know what the Brahma is. The mind keeps on expanding. It's infinite expansion. And that infinite expansion is Brahman. When there is nothing, no thing. Yes, sir, you.
So in a sense, this Brahma is already contracted.
Hmm.
And in some way, it's a start contract is where contraction begins.
Yes, and we can, like I said to you, we can see in ourselves the contraction and expansion. Like an example, if we meet someone and we say, "Why don't you carry this with you and give it to this person?" Say, You want me to do this? Like that means contraction. Or somebody says, "Give me this." That sound which comes means contraction. And if somebody says that, "Why not? I would love to do it," is expansion. You can really see that. The At your heart center, you'll feel that. Yes, Aryu.
If this person says om instead of you will expand rather than.
Yes, instead of if we can say om, it would have been better. Yes, you're right. Or if the person says interesting, it means contraction. He's contracting, meaning he's unclear. Any questions? If not, we will. Yes, Shreyas.
So anything after sixth jhana goes into the infinite conscious. I mean, Brahman, right? That is what.
Yes. Infinite space to neither perception nor non perception.
So I think that is why even Buddha limits, like if you can get the first four jhanas, that will actually take you to the Brahma existence.
Exactly.
Okay.
You can always be in that. So if you look at the Uposatta, also start with Brahma Uposatta, Dhamma Uposatta, Sangha Uposatta, then Sila Uposatta, and Devata Uposatta. Yes, Aryu.
Sorry, I was a little confused. Even the first jhana in that realms, it's in the Brahma loka already, right? It says
Yes.
something Brahma.
Yes.
But the Arupa jhana will be higher Brahma, but still Brahma. They're all Brahmas.
Because it is formless. That extends till completion. Rupa Dhatu have 16 Brahma realms, if you don't know that. Starts with Brahma Parisajja and ending at the fourth jhana, which is Asanya Satta. And then the 5 Suddhavasa from Aviha to Akannita. Akannita is the 16th one, all coming under Brahma realm. So don't forget it. If you want, I can repeat all the 16, but don't forget. And then the 4 of the formless realm is actually like Brahman. The Upanishadic way of explaining Brahman is the 4: infinite space, infinite consciousness, nothingness, neither perception nor non perception. And that is the reason Alara Kalama was able to, teach Buddha about nothingness. And Buddha Karamaputta was able to give him the highest, is neither perception nor non perception. So don't take it lightly that, this is something. No, you get it, you know it. I'm requesting everyone, don't take this thing as very light. This is something. No, you have not seen the fruit of that. If you are in neither perception nor non perception, you know how nice it is. It changes your psyche forever. So let's not be very dismissive. It's not good in case if we have. And please remember, Without achieving any one of this, you can't get through the Chito Vimukti route if you're taking, you can't get Sanya Vedita Nirodha. Please understand, mark it for yourself. You have to get all the 8 jhanas, both in the ascending and descending order, and also in random order. That means you should be able to get into any jhana with a snap of your finger. That's how it should be. So don't take it too lightly, saying that this is Buddha rejected it. Buddha would have rejected, but you have no reason to reject it. You are not Buddha to reject it. So don't get into conceit. This is for all. So don't, even though Buddha is saying that Brahma is Manyana, please understand, it is still true. He is saying don't get attached to it. And he will do the same thing when it comes to Nibbana. And we all are doing for Nibbana. You will have a heart attack the moment you see Nibbana and how he blasts the person. So be ready for a nice tight slap when we get there on the 24th one. Okay. So let's keep it flowing. We'll get there. We'll get the Nibbana one. That's the 24th. And that's the reason all the bhikkhus did not like what Buddha said, did not delight, because they all were there in the Shasana to attain Nibbana. And a tight slap comes from the Buddha saying that not true. It's the highest, right? After Sutta, Mutta, all that. Dhita, Sutta, Mutta, Vinyata. After that. Okay, anyway. Now coming to Brahmin and Brahma or Brahmana. Is there a difference between Brahmin and a Brahmana? As far as Upanishad goes, it is only one and the same. There's no thing called as Brahmin, Brahmana. But over the period, it got changed to something called as Brahmin. Now, what is this Brahmin or Brahmana? And it is there in the Aganya Sutta. We have read who is a Brahmana. From the 4 which gets created, meaning first the Khattiya, who will safeguard the field. And then they appoint a Raja, king, who will take the field. And in that, they will find a person who is very noble, who can then teach them what is to be done and what shouldn't be done. So that person who knows what to be done and what shouldn't be done is a Brahmana, which is a person of the highest moral order, is a Brahmana. And from that, they create another class, which is Vessa, because they start cultivating and then they cultivate themselves. So then becomes very difficult. So then this person then sells the produce to others. Vessa. And the person who maintains it is a Sudra, because neither he cultivates, nor he provides knowledge, nor he can safeguard land. From this rice field or the field what came into existence, these 4 classes came to be. But they are not watertight compartments, or neither they are by birth. Okay. That's the only difference between what Buddha says and what the class society it has become. That is by birth. So nobody can be birth by Brahmana by birth. In fact, the Upanishad also says the same thing. Janmana jayate jantuhu. Okay, so it says very clearly, by birth everybody is jantu, just a being. Only through the karma he becomes a Brahmana, which is in line with what Buddha is also saying on that line. But anyway, so that's the difference between that's another thing on Brahmana, which is also Br, meaning the person's mind has expanded. So whosoever mind is expanded is a Brahmana, as far as the definition goes. It's not by birth. It's not a birthright to have. Yes. Yes, Shreyas.
No, you raise his hand first. He can go.
Was that?
You can go first, Shreyas.
Okay, sure.
Go ahead.
So let's take this Brahma Upanishad into consideration now. So are they connecting that to the Brahman or the Brahma?
It is to the both.
So first to Brahma and then to Brahman?
Yeah. Brahma to Brahman or Brahmana to Brahma to Brahman.
Okay. So what is that
Yes, go ahead.
Dvaja aspect that comes in there? Why is that a thing?
Twice born.
So one as an ignorant being and one as an awakened being?
Yes, it means that it's like this. I'm born to a particular family. I'm born to the particular family because of the karmic debt I had.
Mm-hmm.
Now that is when I have that karmic debt, I need to repay it. Then I will request for what I can say that, look, I can do this much only. Can you leave me? I need to go in search of Brahman.
Okay.
So when I want to go in search of Brahman, I need some sanction, some ritual to be done so that I can continue my journey. And that continuation journey is Upanayana.
Okay.
Upa is near, Nayana means eyes. So in the eyes of a teacher who can then give me the knowledge.
God. Okay.
So then when I'm having that ritual, I become a person who would like to know. Dvija. Ja means birth. Dvi means
Is
two. So twice born. Once born in the womb and now once born self. Self-born. So I have 25 years to find the truth. So once I find the truth, it's done. So
right.
Kashi was supposed to be the center where you can find the truth.
Right.
You go and search. So Brahmana Upanishad or Brahmopanishad talks about the entire thing about Brahma, which is actually Brahman. That's how the infinite is. That is the Neva Sanya Na Sanyayatana, which is
Okay.
the Brahman. All the four is from infinite space, infinite consciousness, nothingness, and the neither perception
Yes.
nor non-perception are all the four together form part of the formless realm,
Right.
because
Yeah.
you
Makes
don't
sense.
require any form to exist. That's the reason I'm requesting everyone here to experience the formless realms before you come to a conclusion on the last one, Sanya Vedata Nirodha.
What I'm trying to do is I'm kind of knowing that dependency with Chavi and the so I'm kind of splitting in the.
So we should achieve it.
Makes sense. Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Sure. Harry, you wanted to go, or Mrityunjay?
Muthunchay can go first.
Yeah.
Sir, the way the relation between that Brahma and Prajapati, this Brahmin, where does he stand there in that?
Which Brahmin?
This Brahman, this Brahmin you are trying to explain this.
There is no Brahmin, there is a Brahmana.
Brahmana.
Brahmana is a person who is going behind that, finding that Brahman,
Okay.
getting into formless realm.
Okay.
And that's the reason in the Aganya Sutta he is called a Jhayaka. Those of you who would like to know more about Brahmana, please refer to Aganya Sutta. In Sanskrit, it become Agrana, foremost. Yes, Aryu, you had something?
Yeah, I was thinking there's this Brahmana Vakka in the Dhammapada, right?
Yes.
So, where in a lot of description, I think Buddha almost put it as almost like a perfected one.
Yes.
Almost. So it's
Yes.
the Buddha's definition is almost like Arahat.
Yes. They are one step closer to Arhat. And that's the reason all the Brahmanas who came and discussed with Buddha were able to get into Arhat state. Or rather, majority of them, including Vachagutta and Kachayana Gutta. And there are so many Ambatta. You see all of these people, Bharadwaja. Because they have gone in search of Brahman. All of these people whom you see as Parivajjakas or Paribhajjaka or Parivrajaka in Sanskrit and Paribhajjaka in Pali, and all the Brahmanas who have come there to talk to the Buddha, they were able to get into this because they knew it. They only required some assistance. So, my sincere request to all of us is to attain all the 8 jhanas first. Yes, Bobby.
Vilashi, like if that is the case, that time, like all these Brahmins or they had, they are truly like, and they could get into these jhanas. That is what it makes sense. That's why they have immediately understood what Buddha said. But why the people from who are practicing this Vedanta? I don't know whether it's a private question. They are, when they talk to them, like it is that perception is still there. Normally, they deny it. They say that that is the final state of getting into Brahmana and Atman. So is it because they have this manyati or something is very strong?
Yeah, in all the Manyana becomes strong. In fact, that is covered in the Brahmajala Sutta itself. He even talks about 40 eons. of rebirth. There is a complete description is there. So whether it is Vedanta or whatever it is, they have succeeded in doing till the last step. The Buddha's is the last step. That is Sanya Vidat Nirodha. That's the last step. Otherwise, it's almost the same. Except that Arya Magga is that you will cut off the return journey. Just like I'm going with one-way flight ticket. Like I have a H1B visa and I'm going with a one-way flight ticket because I'm not going to come back. Something similar to that. So all the Brahmanas that came knew how to do it, but they were circling because Nevasanya, Nasanya will again circle back. They didn't know how to get there, how to get out of it. Because they also knew that perception is a problem. So they did their best to remove the perception. Okay. And Buddha gave a way to remove the perception and feeling. And hence Buddha's teaching is the highest. But for our experience, let's say, meaning a normal experience I would like to have on the 8 jhanas. You can do Buddha or this, it doesn't really matter, but at least you'll come to know the 8 jhanas. That's the first thing we need to see, that there is 8 jhanas, and these are the 4 Rupa jhanas, and these are the 4 Arupa jhanas. I can get from Arupa jhana to the Rupa jhana, from the Rupa jhana to Arupa jhana in ascending, descending, in at will. And I should be able to stay in that particular jhana at will. Yes, yes, Harry.
So I guess by the time you're able to do all these in whichever way you achieve it, the attachment to existence is already so low. So by the hint of Dhamma, you can cut off this atta or
Exactly,
whatever.
exactly,
You're-
exactly, exactly, exactly. The misunderstanding would be that there is no 8 jhanas at all and that is inferior. There's nothing inferior or superior. The problem is the vivatta and samvatta is still there. So even if you go to neva sanya na sanya ayatana, the perception still exists. As soon as the perception comes back, it comes back with existence. So they didn't know how to stop existence. And hence Buddha is the greatest of all, who found how to cut existence. Nothing to do with Buddhist and desist and that is and all that. That is stupidity. What he actually showed is how to cut existence. That's it. 4 Rupa jhanas were known earlier. 4 Arupa jhana also were known earlier. It's not an invention of the Buddha. But the mistake here is that being the highest is the mistake. That's it. So what Buddha gave to the world is what is the highest. Agrana, highest. Or Aganna, foremost. You think the Brahmins, the Brahmana didn't know how to see their past life? Only Buddha knew how to read the past life? No, not like that. Only Brahmins knew how to, sorry, only Buddha knew how to do Vitakka, Vichara, Piti, Sukha, Ekagata, and nobody knew it? No. Only Buddha knew how to enter into infinite space, infinite consciousness, and nobody else knew? Not like that. In fact, he got trained from them only. And Uddalaka Maharshi is the greatest of all the teachers in that time. Uddalaka getting a teaching from Uddalaka is you should be a fortunate person. And hence the reason Uddalaka or Uddaka Ramaputta says that I've never found a student like you. So you are so honored. So why don't we expand? Why don't we go and teach to others? I'm giving you the entire authority to go and teach others. At which time Buddha says that, look, I came here to search for extinguishment, and I'm not finding it here. And hence he leaves. Yes, Bobby.
So that means even Uttaka Ramaputta also know that he is just not extinguished, because Buddha obviously definitely left him because he was not satisfied that he didn't find the ultimate truth. So,
Yes.
but Uttaka Ramaputta might be thinking that he found the truth. The
See, at that point in time, that is the highest, and that's it.
Yeah, but then that is the highest. So that means Uddaka Ramaputta might be thinking that he found the ultimate. There is nothing above
Yeah,
that.
it's there in the Bodhi Maharajaka Sutta, MN 85, right? He says that that's the highest.
Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. So how Buddha felt that it is not the highest?
We have to ask the Buddha. I don't know. It is his way of seeing it, right? How can I go and tell why Buddha did like that? First and foremost, we need to achieve all the 8 jhanas, both in this order and that order, and at will.
And also in the same sutta, Buddha tells that. So once he comes out of the eighth jhana, he tells that I feel that I still exist. So that is why he tells that to Uddaka Ramaputta, and then he leaves and goes to find out the truth on his own.
That's correct. But there is even more detailed on that.
Yeah.
Meaning, how do you say it exists? How do you say you exist? Because that is a cessation state. It ceases. So how do you make it to come back? What makes you to come back? And what nimitta will you make it to come back? Without nimitta, nothing can come back. That's a perception, right? Nimitta is a perception.
Correct.
So what does in the MN 43 and MN 44 it says? You have to have nimitta. I also told you, without that air hostess saying welcome to whatever, there's no coming back. You're gone in abyss. So we need to have the perception. Without perception, there's nothing that can be done. Like another thing for us, you go to office. Office is a perception. You come home. Home is a perception. What we are saying is, don't have any perception at all. Then what would you do? You can't go to office, you can't go home. That's what it is. Just think, if you say Sanya Vedat Nirodha, it means a state where there is no perception and there is no feeling. Because there is no perception, there is no feeling. You existing is a feeling. That is, I am existing is a feeling. Now, because of the perception, there is a feeling. What if you cut off perception? Then the question comes, who are you? If you really experience, it's like dementia patient. Post dementia, if I could use. He doesn't know. Somebody asked me, what's your name? And he might even ask me, what's your name, Vilas? Yep.
That's the Asanya Satta, right? That's a realm there.
Asanya Satta. He dies out of perceptionless. Mrutyunjaya, tell me.
Sorry, sir. Last time I had marked, no, the same thing was.
Okay.
If he dies perceptionless, does that mean there is no feeling as well?
By the time the feeling comes, there's nothing has happened. So he goes in an abyss where the six senses shut out.
So he's just like a statue.
Yeah,
That's it.
that's it. Asanya Satta.
So he comes back whenever he comes back, but there's nothing to
No,
come
when
back.
the Asanya Satta happens, he becomes an atheist because he has no perception of anything else. You read Brahmajala Sutta. It's happening due to Asanya. He has no perception. He can't go to his past life because it has made him no perceptions. Past life requires perception.
Right. Yeah.
So perception is the most important thing. If you don't have perception, at present we don't have perception in a proper way. That's the reason we can't get into past life.
Right.
None of us have it. We have to only believe by what is there in the sutta. Oh, there are millions of past life. Oh, I should have known and all that. Why we are not able to do it is because the consciousness is not able to go back. Go backing is through perception. It should hold on to some perception. If there's no perception being held, then what to do?
And that is what jhana is all about, changing the perception only.
Yes. So then you lose perception itself. So you should know how to shut down the perception and start back the perception. That is where Uddaka Ramaputta could not do it.
Oh, okay. Nice. Yes.
So we have to be so revered to Uddaka Ramaputta, actually.
Yes.
Than dismissing that, he didn't know, our Buddha did it. What do you mean our Buddha did it? I hear some people using the word our Buddha. They bought him.
Franchisee owners.
So which is again a manyana. Putujjana. Abhinandati. Yes.
I guess if it weren't for a era where so many spiritual giants were there and have achieved the highest, there's no possibility of a Buddha also.
Yes, absolutely. There is no need for that at all, right?
Correct.
Okay, good one. So we'll meet. Oh, tomorrow we are not meeting. I'm in the office, so we'll meet on Wednesday. Tuesday, we are not meeting. Yes.
Last quick question. So in a lot of the suttas, wherever it's translated as Brahman, the Pali was Brahmana. Okay? So I guess in our understanding, the real meaning of Brahman should be understood as Brahmana, as we discussed.
Yes.
not by birth, but by quality of the such.
Yes. Yes. One who is gone in search of reality is Brahmana. And in fact, in Pali, it is used as Brahmana only. Only in English, it is used as Brahmin.
Yeah, so whoever used this word Brahmin as by birth is already misusing it.
Yes, you're already misusing it.
I think in Dhammapada, their entire section is explaining who is Brahmin.
Who is Brahmana?
Brahmana, yeah, Brahmana. Who is a Brahmana? So in that one full chapter is about Brahmana.
Yes. That's called as Brahmana Vagga.
Brahmana Vagga, yeah.
Section on Brahmana. So basically, before conclusion, we need to know that Brahmana was a person or is a person who has gone in search of Brahma state of his mind, which then takes him to Brahman, which makes him experience the four jhana, this four arupa jhana. Then comes the Buddha telling them that that's not the highest. There is higher than this. So then the argument is between the higher and the highest. Is there anything called as the highest? Okay. And all the Brahmanas who came to talk to the Buddha knew the higher ones. They didn't know the highest. So when they were explained in a proper way of the highest, they got it. Okay. We are in the lowest. So first we have to come to the highest. Then we have to go into we have to come into the higher because we're in a lower. So we have to come to the higher. Once we come into the higher, then we have to set this higher aside, go to the highest. Yes.
I guess it's like we've enrolled in a, Oxford program of, but we're the first day in the program.
Yeah.
So we're mocking other schools' PhD, which done much, but we say, our school's the best.
Yeah, something like that. Yes, exactly. Or we are thinking we are from Ivy League or Stanford or Harvard and every other school is as though we have studied in those schools, UCLA and all that. Anyway, that's all what it is. That is Brahma, what we just now finished. So what Buddha is saying is you have to let go of it. Because the perception is what you're holding on to. You have to let go of that perception. If you do like that, including Nibbana, then you reach the. Otherwise, you are on the higher. Nibbana, that state is the higher, not highest. But you are going to still come back. His objective is not to come back. Nothing coming back, not going anywhere, not doing anything. You're done, extinguished. So we need to achieve 8 jhanas. Yes.
And I guess as far as experience goes, it's the highest. But this goes beyond experience.
Yes, whatever you want to call. There's a higher and the highest. 8 jhanas are the higher, the 9th one is the highest. Okay, so good day to everyone and good night, Ariu, and we meet on Wednesday, not tomorrow.